Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. This is American Horror Story episode 8. American Horror Story 1984, okay? Episode 8, Rest in Pieces, okay? So this episode starts off with, it is a day before Halloween, present time, 1989, okay? If y'all haven't caught up with like them flashing back and flashing forward and flashing, every which way, okay? We're in present time. It's the day before Halloween, okay? So Nurse Rita, aka Donna, she is with Brooke at a diner. Remember last episode they were escaping the killer hitchhiker, okay? And they escaped him, so they left him for dead. So now they're at a diner and they're getting ready to go to the camp and whatnot. And Brooke and Donna are talking about like what are they gonna do after this and stuff like that. And all of a sudden this girl, Brooke notices this girl looking at her from like across the diner, and she's like, okay, what's up? And so the girl comes to their table and she's like, hey, you know what, you look just like Brooke, I forgot her last name, so and so, the woman that was murdered, was put to death. Like, you look just like her. Anyways, can I sit with y'all? And so she sits down with them and she goes, from 0 to 100 on the mouth, okay? And she tells them that she is a writer slash journalist, and she's been kind of like keeping track of what's going on with like jingles and stuff like that. And then she was in the works of writing a book about Brooke and Mr. Jingles and stuff like that. And so of course Brooke and Donna, they're like, girl, like, okay, can we get out of here, okay? So Brooke's like, nice to meet you, boo. And homegirl's just like, look, I'm eat all this food after y'all leave because I only ordered coffee. So y'all's food looks good, so I'm eat some of y'all's food too. I said, okay, girl, get your free meal in there. And so they leave and they're like, that was weird. And Brooke is like, she knows like it was me. And Nurse Rita's like, girl, you're supposed to be dead. Donna's like, girl, you're supposed to be dead. So I don't think so, okay? So then we cut to the old camper. Y'all remember the old camper that was there when Margaret was there that she kept running into? I don't know his name, but we see him again. He is walking, I guess like to the camp. He can't leave the camp. So he comes across Killer Hitchhiker. That's what I'm gonna call him because I don't know if we know his name or not. Everything, like, they be cutting back and forth so fast that I'm like, okay, who's who? Like, okay, so Killer Hitchhiker, he picks up old camper and he's like, get in. We're headed the same way. I'll bring you in there. And so they get to talking, and old camper hears somebody in the trunk. And he's like, somebody is in the trunk, okay? And then Killer Hitchhiker gets out. He's like, oh, let me go deal with this, okay? So he gets out and he has somebody in the trunk, okay? And then we flash back to the previous night when he was acting like he needed some help, and they got a Mary Kay, he got a girl from the Mary Kay, and she pulled over to try to help him. He choked her out and put her in her nice pink Cadillac or whatever. So now they're driving the pink Cadillac. I said, oh my gosh, they out here trying to attack Mary Kay ladies, poke things, okay? And so we flash to present time, and he's like, girl, this is going to be a pandemic across the whole world of these darn Mary Kay Cadillacs all over the place. Like, these pink Cadillacs are going to be like an infestation. So like, you would think you'd be smarter than that. You're like, I got you basically. And he kills her. And I was like, okay, girl, bye. So I was like, okay. So then we get to Margaret and her assistant. Okay, they are on the tour bus, and y'all corrected me last episode. Thank you so much. It wasn't Billy Idol that the Night Stalker had killed everybody on the tour bus. It was the band called Kashagugu. Okay, I said Kashagugu. All right. They so the assistant found them. He called Margaret. Margaret was like, look, this is a mess. But it's gonna look bad on the camp. So what I want you to do is I want you to clean up this whole mess for me, assistant. I don't care what you have to do, like cut them up into small pieces. It's not my problem, okay? But clean up this whole thing and come back to me, okay? Because this is gonna make the camp look bad. So assistant's like, okay. So while the assistant is cleaning the camp, we see that Billy Idol has showed up, okay? And we see also that the Night Stalker is creeping around or whatever. And so so the Night Stalker, he's creeping around. He sees Billy out or whatever, and he's kind of talking to the other band members. And then he creeps off into the forest. And then when he's in the forest, Mr. Jingles finds them, and they get to wrestling or whatever. And I was like, okay. And they're wrestling, and then they get into the street, and the killer. So they wrestle. They get into the street, and then all of a sudden, the Mary Kay car, the Mary Kay Cadillac with the killer hitchhiker driving it. They are all, driving the same time as when Jingles and the Night Stalker are playing in the street, and then pop, okay, the car hits Mr. Jingles, and basically Mr. Jingles gets away, and the Night Stalker is like, you're like, really? Like, I almost had him, but y'all, like, let him get away. He's, like, frustrated. And so the killer hitchhiker is like, hold up. You look familiar. Are you, the Night Stalker, basically. And the Night Stalker is like, yeah, that's me. And I was trying to kill, I'm hunting one of my biggest preys, but, like, you messed it up for me, okay? And then the killer hitchhiker is like, look, like, I have a girl in the back of my car. Like, this is what I do. I kill people for a living, so I really look up to you. And then they bond over killing people, and I was like, okay, girl. And so the Night Stalker is like, look, I'm hunting one of my biggest preys right now. And Killer Hitchhiker's like, girl, who? And he tells them it's Mr. Jingles. So they basically are teaming up, okay? And so they're like, how are we going to get Mr. Jingles, like, in this big camp? And the Night Stalker, he calls upon the devil for help. That's what he does, because he is his loyal servant, okay? So the next thing we got Donna and Brooke. They are at the hotel, that they're staying in. And they get a knock on the door. Who is it? It's a journalist girl who is like, look, I know everything, girl. Meet me in my hotel room if y'all want to, discuss this, okay? They go over there. They meet her in her hotel room. And she says that she basically knows everything. She's been following them, tracking them. She says she even had like a VHS tape from the prison. And she was like, girl, Nurse Frida, I don't know how you, like, you probably gave Brooke something to make her heart stop, make her heart beat so low that it was, undetectable, and made her be presumed dead or whatever. So that's how you did it, but I don't understand why. And so Nurse Frida tells her why and stuff like that. And so basically she's like, I'm going to write about this, okay? And then Brooke's like, hold up, like, don't write about it yet. Like, we'll cooperate with you and we'll tell you everything that happened. So the deal is that you write everything after what we're about to do, because we're about to go to the camp. We're about to cut up, girl, okay? And so she's like, okay, so, like, bring me to the camp. So, like, I can have a great story and, like, we can figure it out. And so Brooke also tells her that, like, it wasn't, like, to basically tell her the truth. And she was like, it wasn't me and Jingles who killed everybody. It was Margaret. Margaret was this, the cold killer this whole time. So the journalist is like really interested. She's like, girl, if this story is true, like, it's gonna be it. It's gonna be my big ticket, okay? So then we get to Jingles. We got Jingles and the old camper. They're talking or whatever. And the old camper's like, look, like, the more you're here, the more your memory will be lost. And Jingles is like, well, that can't happen because I gotta go kill Night Stalker, okay? And so then we get to the Lovebirds, Montana and Trevor, okay? They got done doing what they had to do, okay? And so they're just like talking or whatever. And Montana is smoking, and Trevor's like, so you can get high in the afterlife? And she's like, no, but he's like, but you can feel pleasure, and she's like, yes. We can feel the pleasures and we can feel the pain, but we always have this longing for like something like to live our life or to die, but we can't experience those things, so we're just stuck in between. And so they're talking about that, and then all of a sudden, when that is done, they like kiss and they leave and stuff like that, and Margaret sees them, okay, but they don't know that Margaret has saw them, okay. So cut back to. It was so many cuts, y'all, from like cut. I said, you know what? This episode here was not my favorite. It was not. It was too much. Like, they were rushing everything in this episode, and I was like, y'all really, like, some of the other episodes that were slower, y'all could have put some of this stuff in the other episodes, so it didn't feel like y'all were rushing everything in this episode. But Anyway, so if it seems like I'm rushing, it's because this whole episode was rushed, okay? So, so we got the Night Stalker, and the killer hitchhiker. They're a murderous duo now, okay? So they are looking in the forest for Mr. Jingles, and all of a sudden Xavier pops up and he finds them. And he's like, "Look, I can help y'all find Mr. Jingles, okay?" So Xavier brings them to Mr. Jingles' body. And he's like, look, he's gonna come back looking for his body. Like, you know, I'm helping y'all. Like, because Xavier can't stand Jingles because Jingles messed up his face and whatnot. So, yeah. And so, so when they're at Mr. Jingles' body, Jingles shows up. Okay, Jingles is like, y'all was looking for me, y'all was calling for me. I'm right here. Okay. And so he tells Killer Hitchhiker, like, back up. Like, this got nothing to do with you. This is really just me and the Night Stalkers, like, fight. So back up if you don't want to get hurt, okay? So Killer Hitchhiker backs up. And so we get, like, the Night Stalker and Jingles, like, going back and forth. And they're kind of tussling or whatever. And the Night Stalker is like, look, like, you're stuck at this camp, okay? I can leave this camp. And I can go do what I have to do and, like, hurt your family and stuff like that. And hurt your child. But, like, and you can't stop me. So, like, you killing yourself and staying here, it was stupid, okay? Like, you're stuck here forever. And then over time, you're going to forget everything. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense, Night Stalker. Like, I don't think he really... His mama was up to something whenever she made him, like, kill himself there. Because I was like, girl, this doesn't make sense, okay? And so, Mr. Jingles gets mad and they get to tussling. And then all of a sudden, Jingles gets shot. Jingles gets shot. Who shot him? Margaret, okay? I said, Margaret, this is the last... Margaret is just... She is so rude to Jingles. She done put him in a mental asylum, blamed everything on him. Now she done shot him shot him again. I said, godly. So, the Night Stalker and Margaret are talking, and she's like, look, I need y'all to do something for me, okay? And they're like, girl, what's up, okay? So, then we get to Brooke and Donna, okay? Brooke and Donna, they bring the reporter to the camp and they tell her basically everything that happened, okay? The whole wild story. And the reporter's like, yeah, I definitely believe y'all, but it's not enough. It's just like, it's not enough for me. So like, yeah, okay. And so Brooke and Donna, they're talking and they're like, Brooke is like, I'm gonna have to kill this girl, okay? And that's just what's gonna happen. And then Donna's like, girl, you're not a killer. Like, that's the whole reason why it broke you out of prison, because you're not a killer. And Brooke is like, girl, the old Brooke has died. I'm the new Brooke now, and this is just what's going to happen, okay? So Brooke is plotting on this girl's death, okay? And so then we cut to the next scene. We have all of the dead campers. They found Mr. Jingles, and they have tied him up, okay? Everybody hates Mr. Jingles at the camp, okay? So, Xavier says he is especially mad because he had 2 callbacks for the A-Team, and he knew he was in that thing, okay? But it was Mr. Jingles' fault that he was dead, and he can't ever be a superstar. Like, it's Mr. Jingles' fault, so he has to pay for it, okay? And so Jingles basically, he apologizes and he pleads with them, but like, it's not about him. Like, he's just worried about his son. And he's saying he wants to kill the Night Stalker. And they're like, but the Night Stalker is then going to be stuck here with us. So even if we wanted to, even if we liked you, we don't want the Night Stalker to be stuck here. So I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, okay. And so he is still pleading and whatnot. He also says that, Montana, like, your boyfriend, you brought your boyfriend, the Night Stalker, to the camp. And he's the one that, like, killed my family and stuff like that. And they were like, what? Montana, you brought the Night Stalker to the camp? And she was, she tries to act innocent or whatever. But, girl, we know you're guilty, okay? So, cut to the next scene. We have Brooke and Donna. They're talking to the journalist. Oh, Brooke is talking to the journalist. And she's talking to her in one of, like, the little cabins. And she tells the girl to, like, put her stuff down and turn around and close her eyes, okay? And, of course, she does, okay? And so Brooke is behind her like this, and she's about to swoosh around, okay? But Donna stops her. She's like, girl, this ain't you, okay? Like, I don't want you. You have to, the more you give in to being bad, the more you will be bad, okay? And so she tells the journalist girl, she's like, girl, if you don't get out of here, run. I'm trying to help you. Run. Get out of here, okay? So she skedaddles, okay? And so we see the journalist, she's running for her life, you know, and I'm like, girl, the way she was running, I knew something was going to happen to her. So all of a sudden we see she runs right into the Night Stalker. And the Night Stalker and Killer Hitchhiker, and of course Margaret. And so she's pleading for her life. She's like, look, girl, I mean, Brooke was right. So if you probably, I mean, if Brooke was right, then like you are the killer. Margaret, you're the killer. And these are accomplices. Like, I won't tell anybody. Like, you don't have to worry about nothing. I'll write good things about you guys in the paper. And they're like, nah, and they kill her. Okay, so then Margaret tells us her plan. Margaret's like, the plan for this whole thing, I've decided, the whole festival, is that I want it to be memorable. I want to make money. Like, what makes money, of course, to Margaret, is people dying. So she's like, I want us to kill everybody that comes to the music festival. I said, oh, okay, wow. So that's her plan. So next scene, we have Trevor. He is meeting back up. This was sad, y'all. This was sad. Okay, I'm just playing. So Trevor meets back up with Montana, and it was like a whole Romeo Juliet like love scene. I was like, okay, girl. So Trevor's like, you know what? Look, like, why don't I go ahead and just die here so I can be with you? Like, my good years like are behind me. Like, I can stay with you. And Montana's feeling bad or whatever, so she's like, you know what, like, I don't deserve anybody here. I only attract bad things. And she's like, people are trying to say that I like made the Night Stalker evil, like he was evil before me, girl. Like, that's not my problem, but I only attract evil things. So, you know, she was basically trying to make Trevor like be like, no, you're too good for me, type of thing. Okay. And so she's like, don't ever talk to me. Don't ever have anything to do with me. And so she makes Trevor run away. Okay, I said, all right. Dramatic much? Okay. So the last scene, we have the old campers there torturing Jingles. We see Xavier there, whatever. So they basically stab him and they put him in a boat on the lake. Okay, they push the boat out to the middle of the lake. And so he's floating or whatnot. And we see Montana. Montana's looking at him, you know, from the shore. And Jingles is looking back at her, and all of a sudden we see something looking like a what is that movie by Guillermo del Toro with the man that's a mermaid or something? I forgot the name of it, but that thing came out the water and basically hugged Mr. Jingles and like pushed him into the water, or I mean pulls him into the water. And when Mr. Jingles wakes up, he wakes up on the shore. And he wakes up and with his little brother in front of him. And so we're like, okay, girl, what's happening? So his little brother is like the same age he was when he died. And he's like telling him like a little cute joke. And the same joke that we saw he did whenever we first met the little boy. And he also sees his mom there. And his mom is acting real nice to him. And they're having like a little picnic. And she's like, you know, this is what it's supposed to be. Like, you, me, and the little, you know, his youngest brother, his younger brother, and this is how it should be. Like, you should stay here with us. And the little boy's like, yeah, you should stay here with us so we can be happy. Okay, so we don't know what Mr. Jingles decided, because he was looking like he was about to go fishing with this little brother. He was really enjoying it. Okay, so that's it for this episode, you guys. Like I said, it was a lot of flashbacks, and a lot of them were rushing this episode. So yeah, those are my honest thoughts, you guys, and the recap and review. I hope you guys liked it. Is there anything I missed? Like, 'cause y'all know, like, this is a lot of that goes on during the show, and if I mistake anything, just let me know down in the comments below. And so yeah, if you guys liked it, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see. I'm choking you. I need some water. I'm choking. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.